Hey, welcome to my channel, welcome back. And today we're going to talk about a film that most people have seen growing up, or not, called Camp Rock! But before I do, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, or even better, subscribe. With that being said, let's get straight into the video. So without further ado, what is Camp Rock about? The movie opens up with the main character, Mitchie, waking up from a sleep. Like in Disney fashion, there has to be a quick montage of the main character getting ready, while 2000 rock music plays in the background. The only thing you have to know about her throughout this whole film is that she loves music. She loves music so much that the first thing she did in the morning was play her song, without knowing. How did she do it? I guess we never know. We skip to Mitchie and her mum having breakfast while watching celebrity news, and this is where we get introduced to the main love interest, Shane Gray.
I'm Shane Gray, for crying out loud.
And just by looking at his hair, you know this film is made during the 2000s. The only thing you have to know about him is that he's rich, he's arrogant, he's talented, and he's cool, which Mitchie dislikes. Mitchie really wants to go to a camp called Camp Rock so she can be with people who loves music just like her. Unfortunately, her parents can't afford it. It's the last day of school and Mitchie's still sulking that she can't go to Camp Rock. She complained to her friend Sarah that she can't go, and Sarah's response was,
"You have to go. Camp Rock is like the music camp. Anybody who wants to be somebody in music."
And this is the last time we see her in the film. We never see her again. Mitchie came back from work, still upset that she can't go to the camp of the summer, until her family surprised her with,
"You're going to Camp Rock."
and her mood switched in an instant. The only reason she's going there is because her family needs to help out in the kitchen due to their catering business. Now we're going to Camp Rock, the camp of the summer, where we see the most musically talented individuals. We literally see someone randomly doing a backflip. Why, you may ask? Because it's Camp Rock. We see someone hitting a bus with drumsticks. Why? Because it's Camp Rock. Even she looks confused. We see people randomly dancing. Why? Because it's Mitchie is finally in the camp that she was dreaming of. This is where we get introduced to the director of the camp.
We just wanted to get out there, get to it, you know what I mean?
Instead of Mitchie settling in, she decided to explore the camp, and while exploring, she bumped into someone. This is where we get introduced to Tess, the diva in the camp. Then later we get introduced to Caitlin, who makes beats.
Top selling music producer tomorrow. Check me out. Cool.
Okay.
There was a little assembly, and the lady who works in the camp mentions that there's going to be a special guest who will be joining the camp. And that special guest is no other than Shane Gray.
I'm Shane Gray, for crying out loud.
Mitchie decided to help her family inside the kitchen, and while throwing the trash, she overheard a group of people singing. And all you have to know about this part is that these two are getting bossed around by Tess. Shane is busy complaining to his brothers that he can't survive in Camp Rock, but while hiding from his crazy fans, he heard a mysterious voice coming from the hall. And that person's voice was Mitchie, but he hasn't met her yet. After watching Camp Rock again, I realized this film is like Cinderella, but without the glass shoe, evil step-siblings, and so on. As soon as Shane wanted to know who it was, Mitchie disappeared. Mitchie was embarrassed to show who she really is, and her mum gave her good advice.
Clothes. You'll be fine. Be yourself.
And did she listen to that advice? No. We cut to a performance that was performed by another character called Lola, and the song wasn't that bad. Instead of telling Tess and her friends in quotes where her mum works, Mitchie lied.
The president of Hot Tunes TV in China. Yeah,
And the thing is that if you're afraid to tell people that you just met the truth because you're too embarrassed, at least make the lies believable. Even the line is bad, but you get what I mean. And the funny part is that they actually believed it.
Come on, sit with us in the VIP section.
There's a VIP section? The sad part is that she just left her new friend that she just made by herself. And she also moved out from her mom's cabin to move in with Tess and her friends.
yeah, well, it came from China. A little boutique called Jinjiaji. Happy summer. Yeah, that store is the...
Wait a minute!
Let me be the first to say Jinjiaji Mitchie. It means happy summer, Mitchie.
Tess is surprised that Michi writes her own music, which is kind of funny because isn't this a camp where you're supposed to show off your talents? Michi sings a song from her music book and the girls love it, except Tess. The next day, Michi decided to sit next to Tess and leave her friends behind, and Caitlin gave her good advice.
Word of advice? You want to be friends with Tess? Don't be.
I wonder what Shane is doing.
Oh, hey!
The director of Camp Rock picked Michi to sing, and she killed it. Tess invited Michi to join her group as a backup singer to perform for Final Jam, basically the talent show, and Michi declined because she wanted to sing a solo. Then a couple of seconds later, she agreed. While Michi was working inside the kitchen, Shane appears, and this is where Shane and Michi first meet. Even though I'm not a big fan of Michi, I really respect her for putting Shane in his place.
Is that flour in your hair? No, it's Chinese body powder. Pretty cool, huh?
Shane enters the class as if he owned the whole room, and I thought, okay, he's gonna show off some moves because the way this film was hyping him up. But it wasn't that bad. When I watched this film as a kid, I thought these moves were clean, but looking at it now, the moves were alright. Michi was doing her usual stuff, which is lying and also being embarrassed to be seen with her mum. Michi's mum has some concerns about Michi's new friends, but Michi defended her by saying she's nice once you get to know her. It's time to rest and stay by the campfire. Tess performs with her friends in quotes because we all know she's just using them, and the song screams narcissism. While performing, Michi was not enjoying it, even Caitlin knows. The next day, Michi and Sean finally spoke to each other, and Sean kind of likes her now.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Actually, I'm so not.
Best character in the film. That's all I'm going to say. Michi, Caitlin, and Tess got in trouble, and the director of camp asked who was the first person to throw the food. Now, this is the time for Michi to finally tell the truth. But what did she do? She did nothing. She stood there, but as soon as the director of Camp Rock mentions that Caitlin has to do kitchen duty, she responds. Sean and Michi bump into each other, and I can't lie, their scenes are kinda cute. Even though Sean is not the best dancer, at least he can sing and play the guitar. Michi returned back to the kitchen, but she doesn't realize that Caitlin is going to work with her. Michi tried her best to hide her identity from Caitlin because she doesn't want anyone to know that she's the cook's daughter, but she failed miserably. The thing is, all of this could have been avoided if only Michi told the truth. I swear Michi doesn't lie.
And I don't lie. And I don't lie.
Caitlin gave her a reality check, and for some reason, Michi got angry with her. After that, Michi and her friends, in quotes, are supposed to perform, but Tess doesn't follow the rules. Instead, she says,
The backup singer should wear the same thing, not the lead singer. Hello.
I'm still confused why they're still friends with her. But before the performance, Caitlin performs, and it was something, but they enjoyed it. Even Sean surprisingly enjoyed it himself. As we know, Tess hates when the attention is not on her. She decided to ruin Caitlin's performance by saying there's a snake. And for some reason, everyone believes her. After being called out by Caitlin, Michi finally backed her up for once. Next thing you know, they made up. Like Cinderella fashion, Sean is looking for the girl with the voice, and everyone is either helping him out or pretending to be that girl. You know what's funny? This whole thing could have been avoided if Sean asked Michi first to sing for him because 1, he already likes her, and 2, it would make it easier for him. Tess found out that Michi was lying this whole time. Am I surprised? No. The Jonas Brothers, the Grays Brothers performs, my mistake, and the song is not that bad. It's actually good. The day could have ended well, but you know Tess has to ruin everything. She exposed Michi's lies to everyone, but at the same time, it was obvious that Michi was lying this whole time. The worst part is that the mum was there. Michi came clean, finally, and Tess gave me a headache. To make matters worse, even Shane is upset with Michi. Tess being Tess tried to make her move, but that didn't work, so she decided to eavesdrop on Shane and his uncle, who I forgot to mention is the director. Tess heard the lyrics of the song that Shane was singing, and she found out that Mitchie was the one who wrote it.
Mitchie, you are so never going to see Final Jam.
Shane entered the class and gave advice to everyone, specifically Mitchie. Mitchie finally stood up for herself and finally confronted Tess, which ended with Mitchie being dropped from the group. Now people are preparing for Final Jam and we get a quick montage. If Tess couldn't get anywhere, she decided to forcibly accuse Mitchie for taking a bracelet. With this, they cannot join any camp activities including the Final Jam. It's Final Jam day and the winner of Final Jam will be able to record a song with Shane Gray. Both of the members finally stood up for themselves after 10 plus years after being pushed around by Tess. To speed this up, everyone did their performance. The two boys and a girl who used to be the backup singer for Tess performed. Tess did her performance and it ended terribly, and the film wanted me to feel sorry for her because her mom doesn't give her attention. Margaret, one of the backup singers for Tess, decided to perform because she said to herself, "I'ma do my own thing." Tess complimented and apologized to Margaret, and finally Tess is having a character development. Finally, we're in the best part in the movie, Mitchie's performance. At first she wasn't allowed, then later she was allowed. While Mitchie was singing, Shane noticed that was the girl that he was trying to find. Now this was a moment. The way he entered his verse in Mitchie's song was...
It was perfect. Perfect.
You can't deny it, this was a good song. But there was no lyrics in that song that's making Mitchie move like this. Overall, it was a beautiful song. And after this, they basically started dating. The winner of Final Jam was Margaret, and surprisingly there were only 4 performances. Mitchie and Caitlin forgives Tess. The Final Jam ends with everyone performing, and the film ends with everyone being friends and the girls recording a song in Caitlin's studio. And this is...